Hi, Eric here from Avista Cycle. Today we're going to take a quick look at the hugger made by Pyramid Plastics out of the UK for the BMW R1200 GS and GS Adventure. We're going to show you the install process and some of the features of this product. Let's get started. So included in our kit we have obviously our nice hugger. Again, as I said earlier, it's got this nice stainless steel arm. Everything is bolted together, really nice and solid piece. We have these castle nuts. Couple of spacers if we want to remove our original BMW mud flap and the mounting hardware. And what you're going to need is a T45 Torx for your rear brake, a little bit of Loctite, another couple little keys, and 16mm socket for our castle nuts to do the install. Let's get started on the process of this. So in order to access the brake caliper bolts that we're going to have to use, we have to remove our factory rear mud flap on this bike. Now we can reinstall the factory BMW rear mud flap, or we can completely remove it for a nice clean look when we're finished. So on this particular install, we're going to remove it completely. So now that we have our factory rear mud flap, there is this bolt here at the rear of the caliper. We're going to remove this. And because we're not going to reinstall our rear mud flap, we're going to also remove this bracket. When you reinstall the new castle bolt that goes in the back, we're going to use these two spacers to make up that distance. So let's get this rear brake caliper bolt off. And now in its place we're going to use this castle bolt and our two spacers here to make up that difference. Also, don't forget to use your Loctite on this. Same basic story on our front bolt, only we don't have to put any spacers. Now, we're just going to do a test fit on our hugger here. We're going to feed it over top. We're just going to see how well everything's going to line up. Make sure we have no clearance issues. You'll also want to check for clearance on the guard here on your rear shock between the hugger as well. On some of the factory rear shocks, you may have to trim it on the bottom. This has got the Öhlins rear shock and it clears quite well. Everything clears and appears to be fitting quite well. So we're going to use the proper spacers and we're going to tighten this hugger down. Also, don't forget to use our Loctite on these bolts as well. Now that we have our hugger installed, we're going to go out for a ride, check to make sure there's no squeaks, there's no clearance issues or suspension problems, come back, recheck the torque on all of our bolts just to make sure that everything is nice and tight. Thanks for checking out our video and visit avistacycle.ca.